The beauty of getting in the water is that nobody's watching you, nobody's looking at you. And it's just made me realise that actually it's the same day-to-day life. Everybody's focused on other things, they're not watching you. And I cared so much about what everyone thought about me, whether it was what I looked like, what I was doing, what job I was in, all of the above. I just cared about what everybody else thought rather than how do I feel. I just give so much less of a shit.
Yes. Welcome to My Life Changed When we explore the transformational journey of everyday lives. Today we're meeting Vic, whose relationship with her body dramatically changed when she found cold water swimming. Let's dive in. Right, my darling, tell me, what was life like when you were younger? What was old Vic like?
What was Old Vic like? She just existed.
Okay.
I think is probably the best way of putting it. I was definitely bullied a lot for kind of the way I looked. I hit puberty at quite a young age, so I was that girl at school that had boobs before everyone else, and obviously the boys notice it.
How were you feeling around this time, like with your mental health? How were you feeling about yourself? Like, what was life like from that perspective?
I just existed in bigger clothes that covered as much of me up as possible, like that would drown me, so that clothes didn't stick to me, clothes didn't feel like they were part of me. They just kind of covered up what I didn't want other people to see.
And what did that look like on a day-to-day basis for you about how you felt about your body?
I think I just got to a point where black was my colour and everything in my wardrobe was oversized.
And did it stop you doing anything at all? Like, I don't know, going out, seeing friends, having boyfriends, or whatever? How did it affect you?
I didn't really have much of like a social life. I think obviously being someone who finished uni in 2019, went straight into a pandemic, then came out of it, I didn't kind of have friends back home that I would go out with, so I wouldn't go out. I didn't really drink. There was no kind of, I didn't have any need to, I was so busy with my job that just consumed everything.
And were you happy at that point?
I think if you'd have asked me, I'd have said yes, but I'd have probably said yes and then nearly laughed. Yeah, with a question mark, kind of. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
If you look back now, though, were you happy?
Oh, God, no. I don't think I knew what happiness was.
What happened next, really? So you're teaching now, you're living at home.
Yeah.
What was the next kind of stage?
So I met my partner now in 2021? No, 2020. We met in lockdown. So we
How did you meet?
we met on Bumble on a dating app in lockdown, and then in kind of like end of May time when you were allowed to go for a walk with other people, we'd go down for a walk by the river just to like get me out of the house. It was great, and then here I am 6 years later, still with him. No, he's fantastic. When we moved in together, he would notice that my only emotion for kind of dealing with anything is to cry. That's all I know, or all I used to know how to kind of manage my emotions. So if I was angry, I'd cry. If I was sad, I'd cry. If I was happy, I'd cry. If I was frustrated, I'd cry. If I was like furiously mad, I would cry, and there'd be no words and it'd just be tears. And inside I'd be like, I'm so angry. But he taught me a lot about like learning to communicate and not being scared to ask for help. And that extended to, getting actual help with my anxiety, going on medication, and really learning that actually it's neurological, and my brain just needs a little bit of something to just help it along.
Help.
Just a little sprinkle of serotonin. That's all it needs. Yeah,
Did going on medication help you?
Going on medication was the best thing I have ever done.
Really?
Yeah, I'm now 6 months off it. Yeah, but it was probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Tell me why. Like, what did it change for you?
So the best way to describe it is, in your voice, in your head at any given time, how many voices are there? Loads. Well, there's probably hundreds inside my head, and being on medication took that down to maybe like 5 or 6. So yeah, there was still so many voices in my head, but I could hear all of them, and I could kind of figure out what they were saying and what they wanted, and if anybody said something I didn't want them to say, I could be like, no, yeah, you can shh. Whereas when there was loads, there was so many that it just was not. I couldn't tell any of them to be quiet because they were just all there all the time. So now there's still loads of things going on in my head, but I can prioritise them. I can tell them to be quiet. And I've got kind of that ability to manage what's going on in my brain a little bit more.
And so did you come out of teaching? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I left teaching in December 24. I handed my notice in with nowhere to go.
Yes, brave lady.
Supportive partner. I worked in prison education for a little bit of time after that. Purely needed I needed a job. And I could do education. So, and I love helping people and seeing people change through creativity and arts and things like that. So there was a lot of joy that came from it. But I think I realised quite quickly that it was maybe not for me long term.
Did you feel like you needed to leave teaching because it wasn't serving you?
Yeah. Teaching it's a vicious cycle. You can only leave at certain times of the year. You have a really long notice period. You almost become slightly indoctrinated into the world of teaching, especially in government-funded education. The start of term, the thought of then coming back after Christmas, I was like, I cannot come back after Christmas. So I knew that by a certain date in October, I needed to have my notice and I needed to leave. So I did it.
And what was your dream at that point? Like, what did you think did you have a dream, or were you literally like, I just need to get out?
I dipped my toe into kind of the world of social media, the world of marketing at that point. And all I wanted was a marketing job. All I wanted was to channel my creativity elsewhere. And when I handed my notice in, I was like, I will have a marketing job in the new year. I will get a marketing job in the new year. I didn't have a marketing job in the new year. I did have a marketing job by the end of the year.
Yes.
So if December 24 Victoria could see March 26 Victoria now, she would be gobsmacked and just, yeah, she'd be proud.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think it takes real bravery to leave something that you know, like pays
dreamed for years to do.
It takes bravery to like just...
I felt like a failure.
Did you?
I felt like, I'd done my degree, I'd done my teacher training, I'd got, I was a subject lead. I was leading, subjects in a further education college. I was doing really well for a 20 26, 7-year-old, I can't remember how old I was, 26, 7-year-old, I was doing really well. And to just kind of go, yeah, no, and drop it all was, it was terrifying.
Do you feel like sometimes you have to hit rock bottom though?
I think you have to hit a certain lowness to sort of go, no, the next 30 years of my life cannot be spent like this. Absolutely not. And I think once you do it, once you hit it and you do it, you recognise the signs and you never let yourself get that low again. Or at least I didn't. Every time I see the signs in my life of things becoming a bit mundane, things becoming a bit, I'm like, nope, let's change it. Come on.
So at this point, you've got a new partner, you've got a new job.
Yep.
So then
We'd just bought a house the year before as well. So yeah, things were...
So how were things changing for you at this point?
I don't think you notice things changing until you're kind of so far past them and you look back and you go, oh my God, I'm such a different person to what she was. I don't feel like there's like been like a flip of a switch or anything like that. It's just been this like steady growth since wild swimming. Honestly.
Tell me about that though, because like, at what point did that kind of fit in?
So I swam here at Pulbridge Farm for the first time in September of 2023.
Why did you? What made you?
So one of my best friends, she just messaged me at the time and said, oh my God, I've been to this place. I think it's really up your street. You need to try it. And she sent me the link and I was like, really? It looks really cold. There's fish. There's fish in the water. It's muddy. No. She was like, just give it a go once, please. Come try it. I was like, okay. Because I'll give anything a go once. And maybe not anything, but I'll give most things a go once. And yeah, I've been like twice a week ever since.
When you go through your phone, there's a certain...
Oh
you
my
start
God.
taking pictures of yourself from a certain point. Tell me about that.
It's funny because you go back, scroll all the way back to like summer of 23, and it will take me ages to get there. And then pre-summer 2023, there's just like a few pictures a month, maybe like some photos of my tea or of the house or, things but I just have no photos of myself, which now looking back is crazy and is so bizarre, but it's the water.
Tell me about that though, because like before you came to Pulbridge Farm, how did you feel about getting in a costume?
I owned one swimming costume, a little like high-waisted tankini kind of thing, that we all have. It would only come out for holidays or for a hot tub.
Keeps the tummy in.
Keeps the tummy in, covers the boobs, not too much cleavage, just making sure I feel all nice and
Covered.
tucked away. I just had this one cosy that I used all the time. So when I came, I only had my one cosy, and it was freezing in a bikini-esque thing in the water. Yeah, and now I own, don't even want to, probably about 30 swimming costumes, all as bright as possible, because why not?
Can you describe what the cold water did for you though, after that first session?
I didn't hate it. And I think anything that you don't immediately think this is horrible, why am I doing this, you should give a second try to, because why not? So I gave it a second try and a third, and I would leave just feeling so happy and so refreshed. And was it the companionship of swimming in a cold water with my friend with no phone? Maybe. But it got cold very quick, and we had to make a decision of, are we going to keep doing this throughout winter, or are we going to give it up and pick it back up kind of when it's a bit warmer? So we gave it a go. We, in true neurodivergent fashion, hyperfixated, bought every piece of kit possible, bought a dry robe, bought more swimming costumes, bought the socks, bought the gloves, bought the hats, everything, and went for it.
And what benefits were you seeing at that point?
Just the joy, the pure joy that you felt afterwards was like nothing you can't even compare it to anything, because it just gives you this like kind of feeling that to this day, nearly 30, and I haven't found anything that does the same.
And how did it help you get to where you are now? Like, what is life like now for you?
Can I swear?
You may, my darling.
I just give so much less of a shit.
Yes.
Like, I cared about too much, and I cared so much about what everyone thought about me, whether it was what I looked like, what I was doing, what job I was in, all of the above. I just cared about what everybody else thought, rather than how do I feel? Does this make me happy? Am I happy? Am I content? It's been a journey, but it's made me realise that who cares what anyone else thinks? They're just too bothered about other people as opposed to themselves. I don't really see or hear any of the noise anymore of what people think. Or I had a video that went quite viral on TikTok in summer last year, and it was easily 50-60% horrible comments. I was simply in a strappy top talking about the campsite we were at, because this campsite that we were at in Wales was so beautiful. I was like, everybody needs to know about this campsite. And it's incredible how a 15-second video about a campsite can draw in so many people about, oh, look at the sea, there must be a whale over there. She needs to lose some weight. Everything you could imagine came into the comments, and I think that was such a significant point where my brain just went, what a sad little life you must lead. And I was so unbothered, and so, because honestly, if you asked me, would you be bothered if people said these things about you, I'd be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'd hate it, but no.
I mean, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that, but I am also so proud of you of how you dealt with that, because that is not easy. I personally don't think, I feel like I don't feel like I could deal with that at the moment, maybe,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a work in progress, isn't it?
A lot of people deal with those sorts of things very differently, but I think a lot of kind of what wild swimming has done for me is it's taught me that nobody cares. And if they do, it probably says a lot more about them than it does you, so just do it. Just get in that bit of water. Go run on a beach in a swimming costume. Who cares?
I'm so impressed with you, and I love looking at your content, because I love seeing the joy on your face as you're running into the water. I love the fact that you have so many causes. I've only got one, but my aim, I'm gonna
We need more.
We'll need more after that. But you're my inspiration with stuff like that, because you are, honestly, because I can get so in my head about, oh my God, do I look like this? Do I look like that? And actually you're right. Like, the thing is about, it's kind of, if you feel like you're a good person and you're living your truth, you're not harming anyone, you're just being joyful like you are, like, so what? Look, just get in that water and play. Tell me what Vic now would say to old Vic.
Stop worrying. I don't think I'd ever wish for the path that my life has taken to change, because I would probably not be here today if I hadn't experienced some of the things I had. But she just needed to worry a little bit less.
But we don't know at the time, do we?
No. I think, to be honest, if somebody came to her and told her to worry less, she'd probably be like, piss off. I'll worry as much as I want. She would have taken no advice. None.
Like, you're now a wild swimming expert. Can I call you?
Considering my handle is beginner wild swims, I don't think I would call myself an expert, but I've definitely experienced a lot that has shaped the wild swimmer that I am today.
Would you ever stop wild swimming?
I don't think I could. I think the reason that I have been able to come off medication, change my job, I think has all been because of the strength that I've built through getting in freezing water. It sounds crazy when you tell somebody that doesn't know that you swim. They are absolutely baffled that you continue to get in the water in winter and don't flinch. Or don't flinch much anyway.
Or call it a joy, call it a pleasure.
Call it a joy, a pleasure. Even though we swear a lot, it's the greatest pleasure ever.
Right, my darling, we do the last question in the water. Shall we go for a swim?
Yes! Just get in and breathe. Every step, just do a really big...
Tell me, before I get in fully, how cold water has helped you feel better about your body.
Right now, there is only one thing I can think about, and that is fucking hell, it's cold, and breathe. The beauty of getting in the water is that nobody's watching you, nobody's looking at you. And it's just made me realise that actually it's the same day-to-day life. It's just everybody's focused on other things. They're not watching you, and this is a prime example. Like right now, all you can think about is your breathing.
I have to say, I didn't want to get in. I felt it was so tricky getting in, but I feel calm.
Because you can only focus on one thing, and that's not hyperventilating, which sounds ridiculous, but it's the only way to get your brain to switch off and relax.
And I have to say, once you're in, you think, I am absolutely invincible.
Yeah. If I can get in cold water, I can do anything.
What advice would you give to anybody struggling at the moment with how they feel about themselves?
Oh, it's a really difficult question. I think I would say try and focus on yourself as opposed to what everybody thinks about you, because they're probably not thinking it, and it's probably all just in your head. And if you can learn to worry about yourself, love yourself, and appreciate your own body and the vessel that you're in, what everybody else thinks will just disappear.
My other question is, how do I get my shoulders under?
Just do it. Even if you do it for a little whoop, better than nothing. There you go, you did it.
Tell me what cold water does for you.
It quietens my mind. It, like you said, it makes me feel invincible. And it reminds me that no matter what's going on in the world, what's going on in your life, there is an element of calm, an element of zen, and an element of just beauty in the simplest of things.
I have to say, once you're in, like, everything slips away.
Notice how we've got in the wind stopped, the rain stopped, the water's calmed down.
The chatter in my head.
Gone.
Yeah. That's the cold water vibes.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, my darling. You have been amazing. You have inspired me so much. I cannot tell you. And you've made me get my shoulders under, which is a step forward.
Brilliant.
But I'm getting out now.
Good. I'm going to go for a swim.